hi. So you know what I hate? Skateboards. They seem amazingly impractical, and I'm not really sure who thought it would be a good idea to create this thing. I mean, I guess technically it's a form of transportation, but it's relying on a person's sense of balance more than anything else. I mean, whenever I'm walking to class and I hear a skateboarder coming behind me, I usually stop, or move slowly, or be very careful so that they don't run into me like I fear they're going to. And it would be bad enough if they just rode them to class, but instead they seem to feel the need to go out of their way to do needlessly pointless tricks that will more than likely end up with them falling and possibly hurting not just themselves, but also the people around them. So they'd be riding along, and all of a sudden there'd be a curb, and there'd be a little ramp down, but instead they just think, nah, I can jump it, and instead of just going down, they decide to jump into the air, flip the skateboard about 50 times, and have it come crashing to the ground, and then them landing on top of it and keep going on their way, but that doesn't always happen. That was quite a lot in a very short amount of time, and I apologize for that, but they really frustrate me a lot. But this has been going on since I got here, and even before then, so what happened that made me talk about it now? Well, it's an interesting little anecdote that happened a few days ago that I am going to relate to you now. So I was walking outside the Union, which is the building here on campus which serves food and has a bookstore and all that kind of stuff. It's essentially the common area for all the students. I hadn't actually left the Union, I was just walking by it because I was walking home from class. I saw this guy in front of me who was carrying a skateboard. Okay, technically it was a longboard, but to be perfectly honest, I don't see that much of a difference. I'm not saying there's not one. There was somebody in men's course who explained it at one point, but quite frankly, it's still a piece of wood that you're balancing on and trying not to fall off. Anyway, this guy was walking outside the Union. I'm not sure if he had just walked out of the Union or if he was just walking past. I don't know. Regardless, he was still next to the Union. He was past the main doors when he put down his longboard, jumped on top of it, and started skating away. I was kind of weirded out by this since he was walking, and he seemed to be doing fine walking, so I'm not sure why he had to ride his longboard, but I gave him the benefit of the doubt and thought, maybe, perhaps, he's going a bit of a distance and he doesn't want to walk all the way. I still don't think it's a very effective mode of travel, but hey, if that's what you have, that's what you have. Instead, he rode all the way to the Math and Science building. Math and Science building is, maybe, if you're going extremely slow, a 2-minute walk from the Union. And he cut off, maybe 30 seconds of that. Maybe. The Math and Science building is literally in your sight as you leave the Union and turn toward it. There is no building between you and the Math and Science building. There's barely any space between you and the Math and Science building. What is the point of pulling out your longboard and riding the rest of the way there when you can just walk? Also, he couldn't go straight to the Math and Science building, because to go straight to the Math and Science building, he had to go up a few steps, so instead he had to curve around with his longboard and go up a ramp and then get off of his longboard and enter the building. That seems so much more complicated than it needs to be. Just walk there. It's not going to take you that much time. Unless you are already like 50 minutes late for a class, there is no point in doing that. I just find it frustrating. I find all skateboarders frustrating here, and not even because all of them are bad. I have no doubt that most of the people that ride skateboards simply do it as a means of getting places faster, and I understand that, but there are just so many that don't do that it's just extremely frustrating when I see them around campus. And that's all from me for today. So I will see you tomorrow, hopefully. So, yeah. Bye.